How are you doing? Joe Ducey here, Corruption Awareness Ireland at the Circuit Court in Castlebar. Today we gathered in support of John O'Boyle. You'll be aware of the video that was out on social media as regards he was being framed for a hit and run by a Garda Pádraic Naughton from Slieve na Garc out the Crossmolina Road in Ballina. We all came today to see would Pádraic Naughton, who you can obviously see is involved in insurance fraud and false claims. We came to see today, would he read an impact statement out? He didn't, but he got his sergeant, McCann, to read it out on the stand for him, claiming how his life was destroyed because of all the social media attention he got in this particular incident. Judge Owen Garrivan, I keep calling him judge, he's not a judge. Owen Garrivan started to have a go at all social media reports and basically painted us as the lunatic fringe. So that means we did get to them. He commented on a few things which we really enjoyed, because now we know we're getting under the skin of the courts, of these so-called judges and corrupt Gardaí. They were all red-faced today, their heads were down, their body language was, we're going ahead with this anyway, even though it's obvious for everyone that's seen the video that John O'Boyle was not guilty of anything. The sentence that was passed down today was a 2-year suspended sentence for 3 years. He received a large fine, I can't remember what it was, and he got a 2-year driving ban, which begins on the 1st of February next. So it's another blatant miscarriage of justice. Even John's own barrister worked against him today. You could see they're all the one click. We really have to stop using these courts. We have to bring them down. It's run by corrupt Nazis, in my opinion. And I know Owen Garrivan will be watching this and the rest of the boys. Anytime you want to come online and have a debate with me, or you'd like me to interview you, I'd love to explain to you what you're doing in there, because I know your game inside out now. So we'll keep you updated if there's any further updates. So Pat Cannon was there today, Noel McGrath, Amy Hopkins. Noel, would you like to say a word?
Just simply, it's disappointing to see that Garda Síochána have got to such low levels. He's doing his colleagues no favours. He's doing the Garda no favour. Judge Garvin says that we, as members of the public, we must respect these people. How can you respect people when they're doing something so wrong? I mean, he's got to hold his head down in shame. He's got to have some sort of remorse, and he's got to be held accountable. You can't go around trying to put innocent men in prison. Now, it was a clear setup, because when they gave evidence on the stand, they all acknowledged that they were in the wrong location. So for me, that's telling me that they had deliberately waited for the man to appear. So having a 12-member jury convict him guilty, and Judge Garvin says that it was a fair hearing and he was found guilty with 12 members of the public. But it wasn't a fair hearing, because Judge Garvin interfered with the jury by saying to the jury that you have to ignore the video evidence and take into account the evidence of the 4 guards. They had 60 or 80 years experience. But the 4 guards had lied on the stand. The evidence was contradictory, and nobody questioned them. So, I mean, I'm sorry for Sergeant McCann, because he feels he has an obligation and a duty to Mr. Pádraic Naughton. And fair enough, I can understand that when he's his work colleague. But the fact of the matter remains, he has done the Gardaí a dishonour. And he has put the members of the public, and we're not just saying, we're not against the Gardaí. We want to see people go out there, feed their families, have their pensions, do all their career stuff, and pay their mortgages. We just don't want unlawful acts and deceit. And we have to abide by the law, but there's no law made for these people. And until the Gardaí themselves hold the likes of Pádraic Naughton accountable for what he's doing, I'm afraid there's no end to this. And for Judge Garvin to say something about trust,
He's not a judge.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Garvin, you read my affidavit that's gone in to the Court Service of Ireland and to the President of Ireland, and you come and discuss with me about trust law, and I'll tell you a few things about trust law and UCC law at the same time.
And we'll educate you in who's the executor from now on. It won't be you anyway. Pat Cannon, what did you observe today?
Well, Judge Garvin, several times Judge Garvin brought it up about he was found guilty by 12 members of the jury. Well, what I observed during the trial was that some of those members of the jury work for or used to work for Roscommon Court Services, and that jury was packed.
That jury was rigged.
Now,
yeah.
what you call packed jury is, it was in Miles Joyce's case back in the 1880s that packed juries, and this is not today or yesterday they started packing juries to get verdicts go how they want them to go. And this was, everything about this case was fraudulent. And I'll tell you one thing, insurance fraud frauds us all, and we must all stand together on this. And there's a matter whether it's a judge that's involved in it, or a guard that's involved in it, or who's involved in it. Not alone the guard in Yachten make statements that he was sinned against, that could be sued off insurance, but he also included his wife and family as well, and they are all going to put in claims. That's what I'd like to know. Now, that's all I have to say on this. It's very unfair to the public that has to pay the taxes for this.
I just have one final comment, and that's that Owen Garrivan in there made such a point of summarising and destroying all John O'Boyle supporters. It means we got to them. It means we are getting to them. So exposure all the way. We have them on the run, and we now have to finish the job. So be brave, get up there. Don't let injustice or corruption stand in your way ever again. None of us have any fear. Our gang is getting bigger, and we are going to bring down the rotten system in this rotten country at the minute. Thank you. Joe.
Okay.